Coming up on this episode, after nearly 2 years, we're actually going to get to know Dave. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about each of our life stories and everything else, and I want to know more about yours.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell yeah.
Damn it.
It's time for Dave to get the cardio in with a stroll down memory lane. Oh shit, I said cardio.
Why?
Sorry.
This is rude.
We'll probably walk past like a KFC or something along the way too.
Deep breathing intensifies.
Yeah, bro, there's so much to life that, like, when was the last time you actually sat there and, like, tried to define your story? Like, if I was a freaking alien from another planet, which might now be here, thanks everybody, like, how would you tell them your story? How would you say, like, I'm Dave, this is me? Don't worry about the intro and all of that stuff. We'll get to that later. Like, what would be the highlight reel of, like, top 3 things that define Dave?
It's kind of hard to do that, really. Like,
oh, I know.
I don't really deep dive myself in that way. I don't really feel like I need to define my story, if that makes sense.
Not define it in such a, like, kind of way, but more like, just, if you was to communicate, like, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I like, kind of, again, you're just trying to be understood by an alien. Like, how would you, say you're on their planet and you're like, hey, like, this is what I like to do, let's go do this, or whatever else, like, how would you summarize yourself in any damn fashion? Like, do you not think about that type of stuff?
Not really, man. I think I'm too distracted by living and trying to live, I guess, to really...
But then what encompasses that living? Because part of that will define you, no? Because how much of your day-to-day life can I change before you're not Dave?
To be fair, I think if my day-to-day changed, I'd be more me. I think I'm quite naturally curious. I think I'm quite open-minded. I think I'm quite intellectual. Like, I think I actually care about more than I realize. More than I kind of permit myself to really kind of shout about, I guess. Like, because we're all just doing the same thing, aren't we? We're all just busy trying to survive and try and make our way in life. So we don't really get that much of a chance to really deep dive what we actually give a damn about. Does that make sense?
So, let's try to come at this from another angle. When you get a day to yourself, or just any amount of time to yourself, what would be on your list of things to do?
Probably relax. Try and decompress. Try and shut off from life, really. Like, the kind of grind of life. So,
but then what is relaxing to you? Because one person's relaxing isn't going to be the same as another person's relaxing.
I tend to watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. Hi. The 4-4. I quite like being out in nature now. Like, I quite like being in green spaces. I can actually just be away from main roads and concrete and actually just breathe and actually just chill. Like, I actually like, even though we joke about cardio, I do actually like walking more than I ever have now. To be honest, like, when it comes to like chilling, I just like to decompress and try and switch off. Like, the brain is an overactive thing. I like to try and actually just kill it for a second. So it just shuts up. Like, I'm that kind of person where it's like, when I have me time, it is literally just shut down. Like, kind of try and get myself off the grid for a second and slow down for a second.
But then have you ever asked yourself where that comes from and kind of dialed the clock back to what parts of you, even with myself, like, I tend to think about, like, why I am the way that I am. Like, I'm very particular and organized, and that's because I come from chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I don't come from chaos, but that's routine born over years where I value my own time. I'm quite a social animal, so I spend a lot of time working or being with people. I've also had relationships for most of my adult life, so typically when I get that minute of downtime, I quite enjoy just being me and just completely shutting off and not having to really care and just almost vegetating in ways, I suppose. A bit different in my current relationship. It's actually a lot healthier. So I don't really kind of actually go, oh my God, I need alone time, like I used to. I still value it though when I get it, but it's normally just chilling. Like, these days I'm trying to kind of educate myself on things more. Like, trying to kind of learn things, I guess, as I go.
See, even there, I think, again, it's just about how we kind of contextualize these things, because I would say part of your story is definitely going to be that kind of companionship arc and everything else, which, like, for myself, I don't have. So even there, when you say, like, oh, it's hard for you to think about your story and everything else. Most of your adult life, you've been in a serious committed relationship or another. So that's going to define a lot of your story, a lot of how you go through life and everything else.
Yeah, it defines a lot of me, to be fair. I'm better in a relationship than I am out of it.
I wonder how that would do on the stats side of things as well, considering how, obviously, in this day and age, there's like friggin' so much like perpetuated loneliness and so many people that are, like myself, like my whole adult life single. So, but then you're the flip reverse, your whole adult life in a relationship. So how does it paint a different story? What would it do? So for myself, because I'm so used to being alone, I feel companionship would only better my cause. Don't get me wrong. There is the massive caveat of I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't, like, if you're making my life harder, get in the bin. I ain't got time for that because I'm good on my own. I want to be better with somebody. But then coming at it always being with somebody, do you have that realization that you would be better on your own, or do you always look for somebody, or how does it kind of cascade into life in that sense?
I mean, I found myself naturally drawn to seek a partner. I mean, I've had very brief windows of being single, and that was enough to realize that I'm probably better with someone than on my own, just for my own mental well-being. I feel like I'm a better person when I'm with someone, because it unlocks more in me. So like right now, I'm probably at like the peak of where I've ever been, because it's a very healthy relationship, thankfully. After a couple of not so healthy ones, you learn a lot more about yourself. You learn a lot more. You think you know yourself very, very well until someone tests it. Then you realize actually you didn't know. Like, I've always thought that I was fairly empathetic. I'm very maternal, so I tend to get on better with women than men. I get on with everyone, but I'm naturally maternal. That's just my upbringing. As I said, I'm quite empathetic, I'm quite level-headed. But you don't know your own flaws until you're with someone, because being with them highlights your flaws. And it seeks change, natural, organic change. It's not forced. But you want to be a better human, because you actually like this one, and you want it to work. So it draws the best out of you. Well, the right partner draws the absolute best out of you.
Yeah.
And they don't command it. They don't command it. You command it. Because you want to level up, because that person makes you want to level up.
So I've always said to myself, I will never change for anybody until... This guy! I will never change for anybody until I genuinely want to change for I want to change, if that makes sense. I've butchered it by trying to clarify.
You won't change until you start doing lovey-dovey donut stuff and you don't even notice that you're doing it.
No, it's not that. It's, I won't change just because somebody wants me to change. What I'm saying is I have to see the value in me changing and I have to want it. For example, in any of those previous toxic relationships that you mentioned, or even if they weren't toxic, any relationship that you're not in now, or blah, 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 like, you would have learned something from them, but it's still not, I lost it. What was it? I don't know. It's not the same gravy. My eye's going, so I need to sort that out.
I think in bad relationships, especially as you get older, you learn what you don't want. And you also learn what you don't need. And that becomes a very definitive part of who you are. The last time I was single was the most at ease I was with it. I think a large part of that was turning 30 and you just kind of stopped caring as much. But that was when I was actually okay being solo. Because I realized that I'd rather deal with the loneliness angle and like the kind of, I actually would like to be with someone over being with someone and it's rubbish. It's way more stress than it's
That's always been my angle, is I'd never want to be with somebody and be miserable.
Way more
I would rather be alone than be miserable with somebody.
Correct. But that's something it took me a while to learn. Bearing in mind my first relationship went 8.5 years. So I know no different. You have to learn that as you go along. It will be the opposite for yourself.
Oh,
you don't kind of be in your own entity. It will take time before you learn that actually if you want something to work in that regard, you have to sacrifice certain things. Otherwise it's just not going to work. And that works both sides. You can't be two complete free spirits who just are complete alphas who just do their own thing and don't care. It's never going to work.
You won't care about
You won't see each other, you won't care about each other, and there's no future, there's no path, there's no vision.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Seems like you need to be empathetic. If you're not, then how are you ever going to know what they're feeling? And why should they ever care what you feel? Or what you think? Or if you come to them with an idea, how are you ever going to have any support for it? They don't care, because you don't care about them. It's a two-way street.
100%. Right, I need to go sort my eye out. So should we quickly run the intro before we actually start walking down this memory lane? Because I want to know about little Dave, or if a littler Dave. I don't know if Dave was ever little.
Nope.
Right, I'm gonna go sort out my bloody dodgy eye, as much as I can anyway, and then we'll be back. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I'm in the hot seat.
You didn't let a silent one go this time, did you?
No.
I'm just checking.
It's a pun on being interviewed, you donkey.
I hear that, but I'm having flashbacks to your flashbangs.
I don't do silent ones, mate. We break and enter. You know, we're like Marine Corps breaching your sinuses.
Sweet Jesus. Oh, that's just reminded me of the old battle games. Anywho, the walk down memory lane, my friend. We have known each other over a decade now.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
When I started at the old security job, I was just before I turned 21, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just about to turn 31. So yeah, it genuinely has been a decade.
It can't be over a decade, then, can it? You
Yes, it
donkey?
has. Because
Well, if you started when you were 21.
No,
you ain't
just
31
before.
yet.
Just before. I started just before. I think I started in May. In the May or so, because I started at the horse racing. But yeah, it's genuinely been a decade that we've known each other. But there's 2 decades that we never knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what if you go down memory lane? I know obviously you said that you ain't really thought much about life or the past, but what is your earliest memory that you can recall? Like, do you remember any of your school stuff? Do you remember anything? Like, for me, I can go all the way back to probably nursery. I remember my mum picking me up from nursery, and at the end of like the day, I used to go in the mornings. So I used to be home for lunch, and she used to make me jam toasties, and I always used to burn my mouth on them because I could never wait. But yeah, like, what is your earliest memory?
It's kind of hard to quantify. My memory is really hazy. Really, really hazy, man. Don't know why, but it's just terrible. I don't remember. Yeah, I remember in year 5, like, crushing on one of my teachers for some reason. That was a regular theme with me for some reason. Don't know why, man. Some weird kink maybe I have, I don't know.
Authority figures. But then, but you said before that you
I'd say my affinity to relationships started young. I wanted it, I just didn't know what I wanted.
Because my memory is pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, on the relationship episode, didn't you say that you would be intimidated by a partner that was more intellectual than yourself?
Yeah. If they were like way more intellectual advanced, yeah.
So then,
I was in year 5, man. I didn't know that at that point, did I? I was like, nice. That's probably about it. You know what I mean?
But what would you have done? Like you.
Well, let's be fair. Nothing should have happened because they would have gone to jail.
But this is what I'm saying. But you're like a little Yorkshire Terrier. But that's
no. Little mini bulldozer, bro. Remember, I was never a small youth. Yeah.
I can just imagine one of the teachers coming in with a cast on her leg. Just like, what happened to you, Dave again?
Yeah, man. Ragdoll.
Oh, sweet Jesus. So what would you say defined your earlier years then? Like, if step out of the body that you're in now, what would you say, say 1 to 10, what would define those years in your childhood?
Parents playing up.
Okay.
It's pretty much the dominant theme.
But then how did you deal with that? Did you, obviously you're saying it's a predominant thing, but it's obviously bigger than just, well, parents split up. But you weren't, what was it, 7 or 8 years old and just gone, right, mum and dad's done. See you later.
I was 7, but then that kind of dominates everything, really, because that changes everything. That changes the course of how things are about to go for you. Because now the father figure's gone.
So was there any difference in you before and after that you can notice now looking back?
It probably would have been massively.
Well, but
I definitely started probably repressing my memories a lot more after that point.
Did you seek comfort in things like gaming and... Because, like,
Yeah, definitely. Especially in my teenage years, I gamed a hell of a lot, absolutely. But that was more social aspect than anything. So I had friends that were playing games, and that got me into it. My cousins used to play games, and that got me into it. And I just took it further and started kind of being more nerdy about it and trying to kind of collect achievements and stuff. So that's where I spent most of my teen years, looking at you old school RuneScape. Spent a lot of time on you. How about Hotel used to bang? Those were the days.
So, was there anything in you that changed before and after the split? Like, obviously your day-to-day life changed or whatever, but like, did you see anything in yourself that's like, I don't know, obviously at any point, like I grew up without a dad myself, but he died much when I was much younger. So then I never really knew that aspect. So although it was like always this kind of shadow of a figure, I never had anything to lose in that sense. So like, there wasn't a John before a dad and John after a dad. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, probably, I guess the one thing there was probably a lot of resentment for what had transpired and why, and for the absence. There was definitely a lot of hostility from a young me who didn't really understand why, but just knew that he was the victim.
that you was the victim. So,
Of course, like, I no longer have a father figure because the choices that aren't mine. How am I meant to feel at 7 years old? You're baffled. Because no one's going to tell you the truth because you're 7 years old. You don't need to know that. It's always the classic thing, isn't it? You don't need to know that. But then as you start getting into your, transformative years, your teenhood, you start thinking for yourself, that starts to come with a lot of resentment because then you realize that said person is with their family now and not you. And it's like, well, I was here first. What'd I do? What one? And then you kind of grow up with a bit of a chip on your shoulder in a way because you already have a reason to be hostile with the world. And when I look back, if I connect the dots, I guess that's why I'm quite driven now. Because I feel like I've got a mission to prove, which is just kind of a middle finger in the air.
is there an aspect of like, I see this a lot with people that, I mean, myself included, when they've been hurt, where it's just like, I'm going to reject you before you can reject me in order to protect myself.
Yeah, massively.
So like, but I want to ask you, is there an aspect where, or was there a point in which you asked yourself or blamed yourself for the split? Obviously, a lot of kids in those kind of situations can internalize what's going on, and instead of saying, okay, cool, either my parents ain't getting on or this situation or that situation, they're just like, oh, it must be me. And like you said, he's gone and started another family. So it's just like, well, was we not a good enough family?
No. My mum done a good job in that regard of making sure that I knew it wasn't my fault. And I was quite protected from all the stuff that led up to it anyways. So
I think that's the kind of...
I only saw things when it started to properly spill over towards the end, when it was just like, okay, this is now done. And no one could really do anything about it, but I was quite well protected and shielded from it.
I think this is the important thing that, or like, well, it's an important thing, but it's also a very... Well, damn it, I lost it in trying to freaking clarify myself. So when you're trying to be a good parent, or when you're actually being attentive to somebody, you can have bad things happen. You can have catastrophes. You can have this, that, whatever else. It's not that bad things happen. They're going to happen. It's how you deal with them after. So I'm having this a lot at the minute with my daughter, who's her behaviour and attitude just getting a bit too thick. But I don't just want to have a go at you and then you get upset and then go and sulk and now we've both got the ump or whatever else. Like, we have the frigging disagreement, have the frigging bad thing, but now let's talk about it and understand why it happened and in order to it not happen again. If you don't have these like clarifying points, that's when your children do internalize things and people internalize things. Because if your mum didn't take the time and say, look, Dave, it's not you, mum and dad, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and kind of smoothed it over there, you may have turned around and gone like, oh, well, is it me? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think sometimes, especially as parents, we can get so absorbed in just like, oh, I've lost my partner, now I ain't got anybody, I've got this, I've got that, and you don't think to be like, yo, make sure your kid knows that they're not at fault, that this, that, and everything else. Like, we was talking about an adjacent conversation yesterday about life and everything else, where once you're a parent, your life ain't just yours. It cascades to your children and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. if you're talking about co-parenting or split up parents or whatever else, that adds another frigging thing of like complexities and spinning plates and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So then, if we say, how would you say you led into your, say, now 11 to 20, up until your arc to meeting John?
I mean, a lot of gaming. Became very nocturnal. Secondary school was alright. A bit of a class clown.
How was your journey through? I guess we're gonna have to break this down into smaller segments because my curiosity's just got the best of me. What was your kind of arc between year 7 and year 11? I don't know what the conversion would be for America, but Dave may know in terms of grades. But
Well, that'd probably be like middle school, high school, I think.
so,
For America.
because for myself, I went from like this like nerdy little the word we would have used back in there would have been boffin. Like I liked chess and maths and very kind of nerdy and da. Used to play guitar and was all because I knew my dad played guitar. I always wanted to kind of carry that through life. So, but then by the time I got to like year 9, I started to find my own identity in a sense, become obviously a bit more of a man and all the hormones flowing, da. So even in those 5 years in school, 4 years in school, my kind of personal arc changed. So did yours, or what was your kind of journey from those years?
It was fairly level. I'd done well in primary school. In secondary school, I was still done fairly well academically. I was in the top sets for everything. I was obviously quite bright. I had the ability. I was just a clown. I couldn't be bothered. So I done decent, but I could have done a lot better.
But so I had this kind of a similar behavioural problem where it's like I would do my work, but then I'm just bored. So now I'm going to mess about, and it's like, well, I can't see you have a valid reason to have a go at me because I've done my work and now I've got nothing to do. So yes, of course I'm bored. I'm going to talk to people or draw, whatever.
I mean, I got B's and C's when I could have got A's and A stars if I really put my head towards it. But I just couldn't be bothered. Like I still am in a way. I procrastinate and I like to do things last minute. And my rule of thumb with exams has always been don't revise, just knock it out of the park when you do it.
See, in terms of me, I revised a little bit in terms of exams, but to me, my understanding is you can only ever remember so much. So if it's just not going to go in, it's not going to go in. So I remember when I was doing my PE theory exams, muscles and everything else, fine. But bones, I could not remember the bones for the life of me. So I think I took the exam like 3 times. And by the 3rd attempt, I was just graffitiing on my styrofoam cup like I failed, blah, 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 blah.
No, I done all right. I done good enough. Because I said, I done like GCSEs early, so I had quite a few attempts at them. Everything was fine.
Did you do any early GCSEs?
I literally just said that to you.
Sorry, I was literally just thinking of a flashback of my own school thing, maybe. Yeah. So say that again, sorry?
I said I'd done early GCSEs.
Which ones?
English, science, maths.
See, I done maths and art early. I didn't do English or science early.
No, I done the core ones early. I had them in 9, 10 and 11.
And then, did you go to your prom?
Yep.
Any good?
Wasted. I still have a picture somewhere of it in like a kind of slightly grey / silvery suit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, which is like quite big. And it's like, but it still looked alright though. But yeah, I ended up in my friend's back garden with a bunch of the other ones until like 5 in the morning drinking a bottle of Jack. The drinking started early because I was a big boy, so I could get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
I could absolutely get away with it. So, yeah, that was funny.
So, where did you go from school? Did you go college or did you go straight into work?
Yeah, college.
So, for?
Engineering.
Did you enjoy it? Obviously, you're not an engineer now.
No, it was a stupid choice.
Why did you pick it?
Because I wanted to be an engineer. I've never really had an idea of what I wanted to be. But I done engineering in secondary school. For option.
Okay. again, I'm an alien from another planet, dumb this right down. Why did you want to be an engineer? What fascinates you about engineering?
There wasn't. I just done it. I done it at secondary level, at base level, and thought it makes sense continuing it.
Fair enough.
And as I was continuing, I was like, well, this could work out. It's a pretty well paying job, pretty good job. Lots of different industries to get involved in. Why not? So I went to go down the apprenticeship route, which is where you get paid and work at the same time whilst learning.
Nice.
But they're quite hard to get.
And from like my own, you only get like half the money or less.
Yeah, but you're 18, it doesn't matter.
For me, it was another story. It mattered.
No, for me, it didn't matter. And also, you're still in education, so you wouldn't have got taxed. So it wouldn't have really made much of a difference.
It would to me.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me.
I know. I'm just again.
This isn't your conversation, bro. You're interviewing me.
I
Why are you
apologize.
bringing in your childhood, bro? No one asked you.
It's hard to.
Repress your memories and shut up.
I don't have many repressed memories.
Anyways, so, but yeah, again, same story. Could have done it. Couldn't really be bothered. Passed. But when I couldn't get the apprenticeship, then I decided to go down other avenues.
And then, is that when we met in Security?
Nah, I had about a year off where I didn't have a job. I was looking for jobs, but couldn't find one. So, basically just gamed one guy. He's the banger. And then, yeah, fell into security.
So you just happened to fall into security, or weren't?
Everyone does.
Yeah, true.
No one actively seeks it. Not when they first join it, anyways. They normally fall into it.
I don't want to make it about myself, but I did actually seek security to an extent because I wanted to get into the close protection side of things, but it weren't until I actually got into normal security that I realized unless you've got some kind of service background, you're really not going to do well in the kind of CP world. And even then, unless you genuinely are willing to sacrifice your life for whoever you're protecting, your reputation might be a bit paper thin. So there's a lot that you kind of understand on the back end of it. So then, the most recent 10 years, what do you reckon has changed for you in your life? You've gone from security to where you are now.
Mindset, purpose, drive, ambition. Yeah. Emotional connectivity.
Vocabulary.
No, that's always been pretty good. Understanding what I am, who I am, why I am.
Would you say that if the two could have a conversation, you now and you 10 years ago, what would each kind of direction of the conversation be? From you then to now and back then. So what would you...
I don't think the 20-year-old me would have much to say to the 30-year-old me, really.
No appreciation, no you done alright, or cool, survived this, or da-da-da-da-da.
Probably ask, like, how's it gone? But that's probably a bit, but yeah, it's what it is kind of thing. Like, world's at your feet at 20, really. You've got plenty of time ahead of you if everything works out, and you'll figure it out, right? You're kind of... 20s to me were just a bit like, yeah, okay. Whereas 30-year-old me would just be like, you're going to crash, and you're going to burn real hard, mate. Good luck. But you'll bounce back. That's what the 20s were for me. Everything was great, and then I crashed hard, and I came back, and I came back stronger.
And then, if you could talk to you when you're 21 or 20 now, what would you say to him?
I just said that.
That was from him to you now.
No, that's from me now to him then.
Other way around then.
I already said this.
Mad. I'm trying to think of the next question while also listening to your question, okay? This interviewing stuff, other people make it look easier than it actually
easy,
is.
is it?
And I don't like using notes or whatever else because that makes me even worse. So, hey, forgive a brother, but, you know. So, alright, 10 years from now, what do you reckon or where would you want to be 10 years from now? Dave, 41.
Happy.
What does that mean?
Means working less, having more time to actually explore the world and kind of do what I want. Be with my missus, have our own plot of land, have our own dream, our own vision.
Sounds like a lot to be happy.
Not really. The reason you say it's a lot to be happy is because you have a vision of what that vision is. You don't have the vision that I have about it.
100%. But it was more from the angle of there's an oversimplified train of thought, which is just like you can just choose to be happy now.
I am happy now.
Where-
No one said I wasn't. Not once have I said I'm not happy at the moment. Again, it's your interpretation. You said, what do I want when I'm 41?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be happy. Doesn't mean I'm not happy now.
Okay, that's fine. But still,
It's me prioritizing that. Yeah, there's moments where I'm not happy at the moment, but overall, pretty content and pretty happy. But I still want to be happy when I'm 41. The difference is, I want my time back. When I'm 40, I want to enjoy being 40. I had this conversation with my girlfriend the other day, actually. I don't want to be grinding away when I'm 40. I ain't got time for that, man. I haven't got time for retiring at 72 or whatever it will be by the time we get there because they just keep pushing the bar. I want this to be on my terms. I actually want to enjoy my life whilst I still can. Because there's a strong chance that in my 50s I can't. With the different genetic disorders and stuff that run through my family, I don't know what's around the corner. And I ain't got time to wait. I'd rather go do it now.
so what are you doing to make sure that happiness is there for 41?
Making the right moves, brother. As I said, to me, it's about getting my stuff in order now, maximizing everything possible whilst I'm at the peak of what my body will be. If I need to put in the work now, I'll put it in now. But I'd rather do it now than in my 40s. So to me, my 30s is about setting up for my 40s. I'll enjoy as much as I can whilst I'm 30. I've got a couple of trips coming up soon, so I can still enjoy my moments. But to me, the 30s sets up my 40s. Because in my 40s, I don't want to be doing all this anymore. I want to be chilling.
It's mad because like I used to think that 40 was old. And now it's within 10 years or so. Like I'm like, 40 ain't that old.
It's not that old, but biologically speaking, you start to notice it. Because you start to slow down. But 40 to 50, you still got enough in you that you're still probably pretty mobile and everything's probably really good. But you're probably going to start feeling things, man. You're going to start feeling that little bit of a slow back. You're going to feel your body trying to pull you back down and go, you're 40, mate. But that's only going to escalate through every decade. And that's why I'm kind of so fixated on my 40s at the moment. Because I'm just like, I'm still going to be pretty energetic in my 40s. So I want to maximize that in my 40s, man. That's, if I can, let's go travel the world. Let's go do what the hell we want to do. Because we still can. You know what I mean? By the time I start getting the 50s and 60s, man, I don't know if I can be bothered for that. I probably just want to sit on the veranda of my goddamn farmhouse and be left alone. Because by that point, I want to have seen things and done things and then just be like, this is my plot, man. Leave me alone. I'm going to go flip my tractor tire into my 70s. You know what I mean? I'm going to go push my cows around. Just shut up. I've earned this. Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? But I want to do a lot of enjoyment before I get to that enjoyment. Because even enjoy things how you want to, man. Everyone's happiness is their happiness. Do what you want. But to me, I'm still curious. There's still a lot of the world that I haven't seen. There's a lot of the world that we won't probably be able to see in our lifetime, unfortunately, because of how things go. But I'll try and see what I
can. I mean, the world varies so much. God knows what the world will be like in another 10 years if it's even still friggin' here. But it's definitely interesting to kind of take that trip down kind of memory lane and think about all the different stages you go through life. I mean, what would you want to be the biggest takeaway? If your life was a book on a shelf, by the end of the book, what would you want somebody to take away from it?
It doesn't matter how far life beats you down, you can still come back. Everyone has the story of the phoenix in them, brother.
I got it on my back. But it's interesting to think about, because even still, we started this episode with thinking about, how would you summarize your life in kind of a couple of points or your story in a couple of points. And you said you couldn't do it, but there you've kind of summarized it in a little kind of like snippet of wisdom where it's just like, hey, look, it's ups and downs, but if you keep chugging on, it'll get better. Like, I think the biggest thing, I mean, I've seen so many battles and different adversities through my life. The one thing that I can guarantee is you lose when you give up.
Mm-hmm.
It might sound like one of those oversimplifications in life, but it's so friggin' true. The moment you stop trying, you're done. Like, it's so easy to get to that point though. Like,
Yes, sir.
how much of life keeps you stuck in that hustle and bustle and on that hamster wheel? So you can't think about where you've been, where you wanted to go, how you've changed over the time, how different aspects of life have shaped you, how different people have shaped you, how different settings and da-da-da-da. Like, literally, we've said it before on here, like, you change on a molecular level over time. You literally are not the same person in 7 to 10 years as you was
I think
previously.
it is every 7 years, every cell in your body is regenerated, right?
Yeah. So you physically change over time. You're renewed. You are the phoenix rising from the ashes. You just don't see the ashes slowly fading off and actually creating dust around your house. Great. Or fading into your pillow. But it all adds up and it all adds to life. Do you know what I mean? So then when you actually take the time, and that's one thing that doing the pod has actually made me do, is take that time to sit down and think about, like, okay, well, where is the value in your life? What have you done? What have you understood from life? Where is the value in other people's lives? Because I think a lot of the time we don't even see the value in our own lives. Like, it's going to be far more, if you could play out the kind of story of your life to other people as if it was a film, they would see different things in that story. They would resonate with different moments and everything else. Just like I have going through this, and you're like, hey, you're making it about yourself. John, you're making it about yourself. You're making it about your damn self, John. People do that exact same thing because that's how we understand the world, is through our own lens. So we put ourselves in our shoes and that. So if you could actually play that story out, I think so many people would learn something different from your story or take different parts and like either resonate with different things or like what, I guess getting ready to end this up, like, is there any part of your life where if you was that person watching the film of your life, you would be shouting at the screen? And what would you be shouting? Like that kind of like old school horror movie when you're like, don't go in there, you're gonna die. Like, you know something bad's gonna happen, or just like, oh, just freaking kiss the bird, or whatever it is. Like, what would you be shouting at that telly of life?
Honestly, I wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah. There's nothing like on a kind of proper catastrophic level has ever happened.
No, but like, so, okay.
I wasn't finished, man. Shut up.
Alright, go on.
My life's panned out well.
My life be like, ooh.
Like, the more I look back, the more I understand why things sequenced how they did. It's all brought me to this moment. And I'm quite happy being in this moment.
I get that. But even for myself, like, bro, I'm happy-ish where I am in life, or like with the major events anyway. Like I say, like, my daughter's the biggest thing in my life. If that event changed, I would be a completely different person. I wouldn't be here, da 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 da. But if I could just like see that film of my entire life, I'd be shouting freaking go harder, take more risks, freaking do more. Like, bro, one of the biggest things, especially for a man to realize, well, there are two big things. One, your jaw ain't made of glass. Like, you can take a damn punch. And freaking two, it ain't gonna kill you. And that applies to so many things in life. Take some risks, fail, go broke, freaking get a no, whatever it is. Like, go harder, try more. Like, when you can take risks, freaking take it. If I was watching the TV of my life, that's what I would be shouting at it. Like, for God's sake, dude, you got all these safety nets. Why are you not jumping off the freaking walls right now? Why are you playing it so damn safe?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I get that, actually. I guess on, like, the security days, I've always said that I would have, if I could go back and change one point, that would be it. So I think I would have maximized my time a lot better.
What do you mean?
I think with the ideas and the kind of visions I have in my head now, I think I could have executed those on my night shifts. I think I could have done a lot different, and I could have changed everything. I think I could have changed everything.
And I mean, even remembering back myself, like that point in time, some of that kind of downtime at security was gaming and chatting to me. I mean,
I
again,
used to literally take my Xbox in and play GTA on my night shifts, man.
like
But now imagine if I actually studied things.
we
If
did.
I actually learned about things like investing and like learned trends and patterns, and there's a
Jeez.
chance that at this point you could be a multimillionaire.
100%.
It's my story, and I was talking. You're trying to interrupt me. Don't even get aggy. You are trying to interrupt me, bro.
But I've got bro, the biases that our memory goes on, because like we spent not half the time, but we spent a year or two studying to be personal training by the end of it. So we did eventually learn the lesson. But it just takes us a while.
I could already have the damn phone by now.
Don't know if you would though.
I generally think if I applied my brain in a certain way, I could have made a lot of money.
Yeah, but
Especially considering the pandemic happened.
bro, I mean,
I genuinely think.
I jumped into PTing at that
Genuinely think at that point I could have. Well, so did I. But I genuinely think I could have earned a lot of money. Even in those lockdowns, I could have earned a lot of money. I could have earned a lot of money, bro. We both could have.
100%.
And I do kick myself about that. But then, bro, at the same time, like, I then think about it and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that would have been great. But then, would we be doing the podcast? No. Would I be doing part progression? No. Would I have a golf tournament around the corner? No. Would I have ever got back into golf? Who knows? Would I have met my missus? No. Like, there's so many things that would be a no.
That's the.
And it's actually like, well, I'm kind of happy it panned out this way.
But that's the thing, like...
Not too late to go back and rectify.
There's... I'm going to butcher this, but there's a reference in one of the Avenger Endgame movies or whatever else where, like, out of all the millions of possibilities in order for the universe to actually survive, there was only one that could happen. And in that timeline, bad stuff happens, people die, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But it's the only timeline in which it succeeds. If your life is the same sense in which the person that sits in front of me now has to have gone through every single action that you have done previously to get here, one deviation, even if it is like a bad conversation, different or whatever else, and you're not here, would you have changed it?
No. I don't think I would have. Knowing that how happy I currently am, I don't think I would have. Because at the end of the day, man, I'm always going to be philosophical about this. What's the point if you're not happy? It's just a miserable existence. What's the damn point?
It's kind of mad because, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm happy right now, but I would say I've got the majority of the ingredients for it. So I'm close enough that I'm not willing to give up on it because I know what it's taken for me to get to this point. So now if I can just bring everything together, I can freaking bake a happiness cake and I can have all the happiness I want. But I just don't think I'm there yet. And even that, to like freaking what I was saying earlier on, where it's like, it might be myself kind of not letting me be happy now because I'm holding this criteria in order for me to be happy when you could just be happy in the moment. But then there's different calibers and levels to happiness. But there's always going to be that thing of like, different things are going to make each of us happy. So what you're pursuing in your idea of friggin' that 41 and happy and your land and thriving with your missus and everything else, when you actually get there, your idea of happiness in itself is going to change. That's just going to be your day-to-day life then. That's not going to be an idea of happiness. That's not going to be a dream. That's just going to be, this is life. Like, but then...
And the notion of that fills me with joy. Genuine joy. Just being able to be at that point where you can enjoy things on a day-to-day basis. And if you want to do something, we can go do something. But if you don't, we got what we want.
Alright. As we talk about your story and everything else, to fully wrap this up before we get into the seed, if you could give yourself a message, say, again, we're going to use our metaphysical or metaphorical time machine. And this message is to you on your deathbed, whenever that may be. You may live to 140, you may live to 50, whatever it is. Is there anything you would say to that person?
Wait, say that again? I got lost.
You're talking to you on your deathbed.
Alright.
Is there anything you would say?
Was it worth it?
That's a bit harsh, no?
I think it's a really good question. Ask anyone on their deathbed, was it worth it?
And what if the answer is no?
Then that's a goddamn sad state of affairs. And that's everything I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
And on that note, should we wrap this bad boy up?
Just end the stream, bro.
First, the seed.
Ha. There's the seed. Don't be that guy.
Well, yeah, kind of. The seed is, take the time to ask yourself, what is your story? What are the things that define each chapter of your life? And does your life have chapters? Like, all of us go through these various stages, whether they be school, college, work, this, that, whatever else. Even in your own life, you may have like a bar mitzvah, and that adds like so many different aspects to life that other people don't have. So we've got all of these different kind of stories, and each one of us is a story in our own. And you're writing every page of that each day you live your life. So whether it's a good story or a bad story, whether you love it or hate it, you have power over what's coming. And your understanding of what's been can always change. So try to learn as much as you can from it, and don't ever stagnate on how you think about your life. You're literally changing on a molecular level every single day. So let your mind change too. Don't be so rough on yourself. All the best, and we'll catch you on the next one.